1909, England. In the quiet Cornish village of St. Erth, life moved slowly. Narrow roads, small cottages, and families who had known each other for generations. It seemed like the kind of place where nothing terrible could ever happen. But behind the doors of one small cottage, a brutal murder was about to shock the entire village. 16-year-old Emily Tredray lived with her mother and 3 younger siblings in a modest home near the edge of the village. Her father was thousands of miles away, working in the mines of South Africa to support the family. At the time, many British families struggled with poverty. Men often left home for years searching for better wages overseas. Emily's mother was left alone to raise the children, and Emily spent most of her days helping care for the house and her younger brother and sisters. People in the village described Emily as kind, quiet, and gentle. She sang in the church choir and was liked by almost everyone who knew her. Then there was a young man named William Hampton. William was 23 years old. He had spent several years in America before returning to St. Erth. He was tall, serious, and known for being quiet and withdrawn. Because Emily's mother had known William's family for years, she allowed him to stay as a lodger in their home in 1908. Over time, William became close to Emily, and by Christmas that year, the two were engaged. But something about the relationship felt wrong. Villagers rarely saw Emily happy around him. As the months passed, it became clear that she no longer wanted his attention. She had started distancing herself from William, but he refused to accept that anything had changed. Then came the night of May 2nd, 1909. Emily and William were alone together in the kitchen while her mother was out visiting a relative. The younger children had already gone upstairs to bed. That night, Emily finally told William the truth. She no longer wanted to be with him. Moments later, 9-year-old Roland Tredray woke up after hearing noises downstairs. Concerned, he walked into the kitchen and froze in horror. Emily was lying on the floor. William Hampton was kneeling over her with both hands around her throat. Terrified, Roland asked what was happening. William calmly replied, "She's only sick." But Roland could see the truth. He tried to run for help, but the door was locked. A few moments later, William lifted Emily from the floor and placed her into a chair near the fireplace. Her body collapsed forward. Then William walked out of the house and disappeared into the darkness. Roland ran to find his mother. When she returned with a police constable, they found Emily motionless in the chair. Dark marks covered her throat. A doctor was called immediately, but there was nothing anyone could do. Emily Tredray was dead. The quiet village quickly descended into panic and anger. Search parties were formed, and local men spread out across the surrounding fields, cottages, and church buildings searching for William Hampton. But only a short time later, something unexpected happened. In the nearby town of Hale, 2 police officers were approached by a nervous young man who quietly admitted, "I murdered a girl." It was William Hampton. At the police station, he confessed everything. He said Emily had ended their relationship, and in a moment of rage, he lost control and strangled her. The following day, an inquest was held. Emily's grieving mother gave emotional testimony. Doctors confirmed that Emily had died from asphyxiation caused by pressure to her throat. They explained that it would have taken several minutes of sustained force to kill her. Then the courtroom heard from the most important witness of all. 9-year-old Roland. The young boy bravely described exactly what he had seen that night, William kneeling over his sister, holding her down, and gripping her throat. The courtroom fell silent. At trial, William Hampton admitted responsibility for Emily's death, but his defense argued that the killing happened in sudden anger and should be considered manslaughter rather than murder. The prosecution disagreed. They argued that strangulation required time and sustained force. This was not a brief accident or a single moment of lost control. The judge agreed. He told the jury that heartbreak or rejection could never justify taking another person's life. After deliberating, the jury returned with a verdict. Guilty of murder. William Hampton was sentenced to death. An appeal was later made. His lawyers argued that Roland was only 9 years old and that his testimony should not have carried such weight. But the appeal court rejected the argument completely. The judges stated that children could sometimes be more truthful and reliable than adults. In the final weeks before his execution, William spent most of his time praying with a priest. His grandmother visited him, but his mother remained in America and never returned to see him. Then, on the morning of July 20, 1909, William Hampden was executed. And with that, one of Cornwall's most disturbing early 20th century murders came to an end.